Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Say hello. It's Fertilizer Friday. Let us know where you're watching from and that you're watching. And we are going to be showing how to plant up a nice big planter. You're taking the lead. You're going to put something together, and we're just going to show one planter. We're going to keep doing this, but this is just going to be you picked out a few things and you're going to show us how easy it is.
Right. But I think maybe we should address that. You know, like my mom came through and she's walking through. She's like, I love everything. I want everything. She said, I get so overwhelmed coming in the greenhouse. And she said, I don't know what to put in my planter, so just do something for me. And a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Like, they love it. They want to come see it all, but they get very overwhelmed by all the choices.
Yeah.
So,
and we all have different styles too.
Very.
Like, you know, you and I have different styles.
Yep.
And just the way we plant things. Mm-hmm. So, you know, everybody's different. And even helping customers, it's different for us, because I may boom, make a decision, you know, and I have a hard time with somebody that's indecisive. You know, like they want me for the next 3 hours to help them. I'm like, I see something shiny over here. You know, I've got a quick, tell me what you want. Let's do it. Boom. And where we have other
personalities.
Yeah. We have people that employees or you that you can maybe work with somebody a little bit longer.
Take them by the hand and
yeah, I'm not the person for if somebody needs to be led by the hand. That's, you know, skip right over me, go to Amy or Jane or somebody else, because I'm no help with that.
But let's get into this. So when I was looking around the greenhouse,
yep,
I have a larger container here, and you can see it's nice and tall.
Nice decorative one.
Yep. So I wanted to have something that maybe went up a little bit taller for the area. This is going to be out for sale, so
yeah.
But I wanted to go with something taller, and you always hear that, you know, something tall, something for the middle, and a filler.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the terms are, but
thriller, filler, spiller.
There you go.
Okay.
So my tall, I'm going to, and what I like to do is, sorry, I filled this up partially. I like to lay it out sometimes if it's the very first one that I'm doing, and I like to lay it out just to be able to see how it would look once I actually plant them.
Because you might not.
Because it might not look good together.
Yeah.
So this is kind of where I was going. And then I went in and I thought, oh, if just a little bit of yellow will make that really happy. So can you see that purple salvia? And that's at Proven Winners.
Yep. Nice tall. And we have three in this salvia.
3 different colors.
We have 3 different colors. This is the purple. There is a light blue. Let's see if we can just show that. There's a burgundy.
Butterflies love it.
Oh, the
bees and butterflies, hummingbirds.
The pollinators. It's crazy how they love that. The best one is the Rockin' the Blues. It's a lighter blue, and when we have that in our yard, there's something on it all day, every day. There's just a constant flurry of activity. Not that these don't attract the pollinators; they do. It's just that Rockin' the Blues. That one is just by far the best.
Yeah. So I'm just going to squeeze the bottom just a little bit just to release it and get it in there, situate it.
No, wait, let me ask a question or just address this.
Yeah.
So you filled this all the way up with soil.
I did.
And we get that question a lot too. And, you know,
you want to know why?
Yeah. Well, I do know why, but they probably want to know why.
I filled this one all the way up because I know that this salvia sends a lot of roots out. So if I only filled it to halfway here, it would kind of start, I'm going to say, taking over the root system area and making the other ones so thirsty that it would be.
The more soil, the better. Now,
right.
there is a point.
Yeah.
And this is a big container, but it's not that big that I wouldn't fill this up with soil. I would certainly, on a container like this, fill it up with soil. You'll be thanking us later. When you're talking a 50-gallon or 100-gallon container, okay, then we can fill it up with something to take up space because we don't necessarily need that. But a container like this size, I absolutely would fill it all the way.
By the time we're done, like in fall, when I go to take this out, those roots will be all the way through this entire container. So if that's the case, and if you've had that in the past where you've maybe filled it up with poor soil or rocks or something, and you notice that your plants didn't do quite that well, and when you pulled it out, it was all roots, then give it all the soil. I mean, that's really important. But, okay, so I have my salvia, and I'm doing this front-sided, so I pushed him all the way. You could put him in the middle and build around him.
It depends which way you're going to view it.
This is just my choice.
So if this is up against a wall.
Yep. And I've got some Calliope.
Large magenta.
And I'm just going to put those.
Keep the tags, too. I can't tell you how many hundreds of times a year somebody says, you know, last year I had a flower. It was pink.
Can you tell me what it was?
Well, that helps me none, other than it was pink. Keep the tags, and a great spot to just put them, they're going to be in the container. Just stick them all in one spot in the container. That way when you dump it out, and you can grab those tags for next year.
Or just put them in a little Ziploc and put them in a drawer.
I would lose them.
Okay.
So
let me explain this. When I take this out, look at those beautiful roots. They're all nice and white. It's very healthy. That's something you want to look for. Everyone's going to ask, should we ruffle the roots?
Don't waste your time. It's a waste of time unless you're using that crappy soil at the big box retailers, which here's the solution. Don't use that soil. Use good soil. Me saying that for the 10,000th time this year already. Use good soil. You don't need to break up the roots.
So I'm just putting in a few marigolds to kind of highlight some color. And I got dirt on some of them, which is no big deal.
You want me to fill in with soil?
Yeah, and then I'm just going to...
You just want me to stand here and look pretty.
Just look pretty.
Okay.
So I'm just going to take and fill in around them and make sure the soil's in there. And I want to leave a little bit of a lip around the top of the container. And that would be for watering.
Yes. Drives me crazy when somebody plants, whether it's a hanging baskets and there's no room and it's just like a dome. So when you water, it's just going to shed right off. So you do want to give yourself, at least an inch so that water can get in there and stay in there and it doesn't run off.
I probably could have had a little extra soil in here. And once I'm done, and I've got a lot of soil on the plants, but we're going to water it and that'll all come right off. Now, should I add more plants to this? And the reason he's laughing is
who are you asking?
2 different opinions.
Yep, I would fill it in. I want instant, I want boom. I want everything looking great today.
And I don't want that.
Yeah, she looks for potential, just like she looked for it with me. I had potential.
You had potential. I like to space it and have my color going. I know that this Mizu,
Dorianthus. It's a big
it's a vine.
Word.
It's kind of got like a succulent style leaf to it. This is going to get huge and it's going to come all the way down.
Has a little hot pink or reddish flower.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
just real tiny
little flower gets to it.
The marigolds, they're going to get a nice little bush to them. The petunia is going to get fluffier and trail a little bit more.
And this was a mounding petunia. It's more in that medium vigor. It was certainly not putting a super petunia in here.
Right.
Because guess what? You would have a super petunia.
Yeah. If I did
planter.
a super petunia in here, there would be one super petunia in here.
Well, there would be nothing left. It would just run over everything. Yeah.
And then geraniums, I put 2 geraniums in, and those will get nice and mounding. So it's going to get probably like this with a couple weeks, maybe a month time.
Yep.
Where my dear husband here would shove this thing full so that at this exact moment...
Looks good to me.
It looks fantastic.
Ship it. Let's do it.
But what happens with that?
It does tend to get crowded out, but I'll go through... Okay, here's my defense. Here's my defense. When I'm filling it in, I'm using stuff that's in the pack, so it's
very small,
a couple dollars, and I love using wax begonias because it's just that easy filler, and it doesn't matter where they're going. If they're going in the sun or the shade, doesn't matter. They're not going to fuss, and they kind of fill out, and I call it pinning. I kind of pin one wherever I want, and sometimes I even use them for pinning another flower where I want it, and then it'll root in, and that's exactly where I want it. So what were some of the considerations for this planter? So sun or shade?
Okay, so this is a sun planter, and when I went through the greenhouse, my first thought is I want something colorful. I knew my color palette that I kind of had in my head. I just wanted something colorful, not just whites and purples, which I love whites and purples, but for this one. So the first thing I did is said, okay, where am I going to have it? I chose this one to be a sun planter. So, okay, anything shade, I didn't have to look at.
Yeah. And when we help people,
yep.
we're putting something together, and we'll be like, time out. Okay, you've got geraniums and you have impatiens.
Doesn't work.
Sun, shade.
Yep.
We can't put them together. They're we have to decide where it's going.
So I went with something tall, and I could have done salvia. I could have done dragonwing begonias. I could have done grasses or spikes. There's so many choices for the tall. This is just what I chose. I thought it was pretty. And then from that color palette, I went, okay, what do I want that else is bright? And so geraniums I thought looked really good right now. And then I thought this color of the petunia kind of blended with the geraniums. And then the yellow was just for a pop.
Pop of color.
Yeah, and the green, the vine coming down, I just wanted something that would accent all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay, and then how did you work it height-wise?
So
what's
this
that consideration?
So this one, being that I wanted this one to be like if you had a wall, a garage or something, and you're putting it up next to. So I went height in the back, and then I tiered down what the level of how tall or bushy everything was going to get. So if I wanted that, I would not stick my salvia up front and do everything down. I want it this way so that they can see everything that I stuck in there. If I wanted to have all the way around viewing, so if you had it on a deck or something like that, I would have taken this salvia and put it smack dab in the middle and then built everything around that. With that being said, I probably would have changed up what I did a little bit and maybe taken out one geranium and put another vine so that I had more, I like symmetrical.
Sure.
But the next person doesn't. And that's the whole point of you come in and you see what you like. And if you want a whole mismatched thing and you're like,
whatever.
It's beautiful, I love it, it's everything I love. Great. It's on your porch.
Yeah.
So
you have to look at it. So you have to decide what you want, and you're gonna do.
We'll do a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, but like maybe even charting that out on a whiteboard.
I love charts.
Yeah, I know you love charts. You're so organized, and I am not. But just that thought process of okay, what do you have, sun or shade?
Yeah, because some people really need that.
Yeah, some people are so analytical, it'll take them an hour to think of.
Yeah, and if you're not one of those people and you're like, what are you talking about? That's okay, but there is people out there that they want like...
They have a map. I have
map.
We have a couple customers and it's great.
Yeah, they came in, they asked me to help design a piece, and it's a larger, I think one's a canoe.
Yeah.
One's a canoe. And she came back the next year and she goes, I loved how that turned out. Can you tell me where to plant everything and what we did? And I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
So we pulled up pictures that she took of it, and I drew her a map, and I'm like, okay, here's this. And we literally went through and I said, here's your tall. What do you want? What do you like? Take a look. She didn't do the exact same thing, but she used the same height and guide of where to put things. And when it's a trailing, okay, what color do you like? Or do you like this or do you like this? And it worked out really well. So we made her a map, and it works out every year. Yeah. So after I'm done planting here, I'm going to take my watering wand or rain wand.
Or we have...
But for here, we're just going to use the watering can.
For illustration purposes.
Yep. And if I had that, I would be able to spray off any extra dirt that's on there.
And you got a mess.
I do.
But not, no big deal. This,
I probably could have had more soil in to begin before I started planting, but that's okay.
It's, there's dirt on the leaves and there's dirt on the flowers. No big deal. It's going to wash off. It's going to get into place. We're going to go through, we're actually going to fertilize it right away.
Because it's fertilizer.
because
Friday.
it's Fertilizer Friday. So we're going to go through, we're going to have, this is already mixed up with the Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer. So we're going to go through and water it, and that's going to help get that loose soil into place. It's basically going to kind of float around and then sink into place.
So you're actually, when you plant, water a little bit heavier on that first initial watering. Because
Especially, if that soil is a little bit drier, that moisture is going to get drawn all the way down, and especially like a container like this is a big container, and not that the soil is dry, but it's not wet, so it's going to be absorbing that in. So you're going to be,
and you want everything to get kind of settled in, and that'll do that.
Basically floating that all into place. So
but that's your first time.
Yeah, don't drown it, but we're going to water this kind of heavy because it's gonna pull that moisture in all through, 4 or 5 gallons of soil. And
you notice that he's not
overly
particular on
I
where
was
the
not
water
careful.
is.
Yeah.
And my opinion is when you make that initial watering of your plants, that's the time to like wash off all the leaves and, get everything washed off.
It's dirty right now. It's no big deal.
If we had our
it would totally get drenched with the watering wand. But, it does have the fertilizer in it. And again, I was not careful. You saw, I watered everywhere. And the fertilizer is in it. I don't care that it went on the leaves. I'm just trying to get some of that soil into place, getting this wet, and we'll put it on the benches and get it into the sunshine.
And let it grow, because it's going to be big and beautiful.
Yes.
So, when you're planting up, remember to kind of give yourself a game plan of what you're doing. And also, you don't need to squish up those roots.
Don't bother.
Because it's spent a lot of time making the roots. So if you're squishing them up and breaking them up, you're kind of defeating the purpose.
Yep.
Unless it's poor soil, and
then just don't even bother planting. Use good soil.
Me personally, at this point, because this looks so nice and healthy and there's so many extra growth coming off of it, I don't need to deadhead or pinch anything. If this was real leggy, I would, at this point, pinch.
Yeah. Because everything's in place, you know what it's going to look like. So what would you need to deadhead on this?
Well, first off, this one has a few. Yeah. The petunias, you could take and deadhead the petunias. You
can, and most people, they hear petunias and they automatically think, oh, I've got to deadhead them.
You don't necessarily.
Not necessarily. Most of them you do not.
Geraniums, the geraniums, I would deadhead these.
Yep.
And marigolds,
Definitely.
Once they start tearing off, deadhead the marigolds. Mm-hmm. And geraniums, you're going to take them all the way down to the main stem. Marigolds, just pop their little heads off.
Yep. And salvia, we didn't do a whole lot with ours, but
you can just snip it.
We have been cutting them just for controlling the growth, because the salvia is growing so fast right now. We just keep cutting them every week. We just keep cutting them.
I don't know if they can see that. They can't see it, but do you see how it has 1, 2, 3, 4 heads to it? That's because way down in the center here is the original stem, and we had snipped it early on.
And now it's just forcing that growth out.
Which means it's going to get
nice and
bushier.
Big. Yep. So, good job.
Thanks.
We've got probably 300 more to go. One down. So anyway, so that we're going to be doing a lot more of this and showing it as we're getting into that season now, where we're going to be planting up some combination planters and showing all. I mean, there's so many possibilities and different flavors and sun or shade, and so we will be showing that.
Yeah, I'll just start planting some up, and you can see the different combos that we put together. We probably won't see this because this will get sold right away. Yeah. But it's fun to see towards the end of the season. Maybe we can take some pictures, and if we know the people, we can go take more.
Yeah.
It's fun to see them at this stage. You say, oh, that's a nice planter. But then come a month down the line during summer, and it's just big and beautiful.
It's impressive, yeah. It's really showstopper.
Butterflies are going. Yeah, you're like, oh, I love that one. What's in it? Well, now we have a template.
So we'll wrap this up. Be sure to go to our beatyourneighbor.com website, and you can find the Beet Your Neighbor fertilizer there, and there's a lot of blog articles. So if you haven't been there in a while, be sure to head over there. There's a lot of blog articles. There's a lot of other products besides the Beet Your Neighbor fertilizer. The t-shirts we have there, and a lot of the products that we use and that we enjoy, and we know that they're good products. There's almost like 100 products on there. So that is also at the BeatYourNeighbor.com website. And then also, you know, we've been doing these live videos, but be sure to go to our YouTube channel, and it's our Sharky's Greenhouses YouTube channel. And there's hundreds of how-to videos there. So there's a lot of information there. If you're, you know, asking about shade plants, or, you know, how to plant this or that, there's a lot of videos there. So be sure to check out the videos. They're even categorized. You know, we do a lot of some of those core basic videos that we have questions on 10,000 times a year, like watering, how to water properly, how to use good quality soil, and of course good fertilizer.
Between some of the
Yes.
flowers.
Yeah. So there's a lot of videos. There's a lot of information, professional advice that you should take, and it's free. It's there. Might as well utilize it so you can have beautiful flowers. That's why we're doing this. We want you to have absolutely gorgeous flowers.
Yeah. Enjoy your spring and happy planting.
Yay. All right. We will see you. Have a good day.
Bye.